Welcome to this week's Torah lesson. This week's Torah portion is Parsha Mishpatim. The question of the week is, what is the power of number 3? So in this week, Torah portion Parsha Mishpatim, we're going to learn from the Zohar. And the Zohar says like this, that when the neshama, when the soul leaves this world, and it uses the description of Zakiya Nikiya Brira, which means Boira means it's transformed, Nikiya it's clean, and Zakiya it's pure. When the soul leaves on these 3 levels, so Hashem puts in their light. That's what it says in the Zohar. So the Rebbe's father explains, what are these 3 levels? And he explains it's referring to 3 different levels of the soul of Nefesh, Ruach, Neshama, or Machshava, Dibur, and Maisa, thought, speech, and action, or a vessel. You have the outside, and you have the center part, and you have the inner part. So 3 different parts of a vessel. And then he says the 4th one is observing mitzvahs, the positive commandments, the negative commandments, and learning Torah. So when the soul goes through the world and it transforms himself on and it's nefesh, ruach, neshama, the soul, and machshava, dibur, ma'isa, thought, speech, and action, and the internal part, and the external part, and the middle part, and learns Torah, does mitzvahs, the positive commandments, then Hashem puts in the powerful light into the person. So Rebbe says, what's the connection with the Parsha? Rebbe says something very powerful, and he says like this, the 3 words that the Zohar uses, that is Zakiya, Nikiya, Brira, is you take the first letter of each one, so you have a Zayin, and a Nun, and a Vez. What is Zayin, Nun, Vez? It stands for the word of Zanav, which is a tail. So Rebbe brings the powerful teaching in the Mishnah, where it says that a person should better be a Zanav la'aroyas, a tail for a lion rather than a head to a fox. And the Rebbe also brings the Yerushalmi, says that's the opposite. It's better to be the head of a fox and rather to be a tail of a lion. How do the 2 go together? So what does that mean? And the Rebbe explains very simple, that when it says that there's 2 different parts to a person. There's one we receive from the high, and then we give. Everyone's a receiver and a giver. So when the Mishnah says that it's better to be a Zanav la'aroyas, a tail to a lion, which means that you have to receive. You have to receive before you give. And then, when the Rishalmi says that you should be the head of a fox, means that a person has to be a giver, and they're both correct. So the Rebbe explains what's the connection of Parsha Mishpatim, all these ideas. And he says very simple, because Mishpatim is referring to judges. You need judges. So when it comes to judging, a court has to have at least 3. That's the connection with idea of 3. Also, in this week's Torah portion, deals with 3 different types of servants: the Eved Ivri, the male servant, the female servant, and then the non-Jewish servant. So you see the connection to the idea of 3. But what's the whole connection idea of 3? That means the whole idea of 3, the power of 3 is that throughout life we have to make sure not just to go to the right or to the left or center, we have to affect all different parts, like Chagas, Chesed, Gvur, and Tiferes. We have to make sure that everything goes through our Nefesh, Ruach, Neshama. It has to go through our Machshava, Dibur, Maisa, to make sure to do the positive commandments, the negative commandments, and learn Torah. In other words, the power of 3 is the power of balance. Thanks so much for joining us for our weekly Torah lesson. This week's Torah lesson is dedicated to the memory of Baruch ben Ari Leib, Shlomo Yosef, Rachel Baslipa, Tzina Basara. May their souls be elevated by the Torah we're studying in their memory. For more information, please see our website, chabadswf.org. Have a great and blessed week. Shavua Tov.